What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 10 of Wrecked Bike Rebuild, the YouTube series where we get wrecked motorcycles, build them into awesome motorcycles, and then we give them away. The reason we're able to do that is because we are supported on a website called Patreon. If you want to find out how you can be given the motorcycle when we get done with it, you can check that top link in the description. I am Chaseontwowheels. My buddy here is Brian, aka Brain, and the guy that is making the camera move around like, anybody know the little turtle in Mario that sits on the cloud? Anybody?
Nope.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So you know, and he has like a camera on a fishing pole.
Is it a camera?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what he is. He looks like that, and that's his name. I wish I could remember his name. I feel like I went to college and learned about all this game stuff, and I can't remember.
Just you Googleize it.
This is where I'm a failure. Welcome to episode 10. So, the last time we left you guys, we were deciding on the handlebars for this here bobber. I sat on the bike a lot, we did a lot of stuff, and at the end of the episode, I was like, hey, Patreon people, y'all decide what handlebars we go with. So, if you're not part of the Patreon page, sadly, you did not get to decide that option 3? I'm super confident-ish that option 3 was the handlebars that the Patreon people decided, which is good because I'm relatively certain that these were the most like comfortable but still look good.
Ergonomically satisfying.
Ooh, ergonomically satisfying.
Big,
that sounds
big words.
Lackluster. The option 3 was the handlebars we went with. So awesome. Thank you, Patreon people, for being an awesome community and making this show possible. Today is a very important day.
Yes. We
have a special guest coming next episode. That special guest will be transforming this tank and this fender that we have.
And the side panels.
And the side panels into the color that they will be. Our goal this episode, if we choose to accept it, will be to get the fender
mounted
stuff. So, Brian.
Yep.
To mount the fender, we have to weld things.
Yep.
And we've tried to weld things before.
We had some slight welding mishaps in prior episodes.
Yeah, so if you guys didn't watch that episode, I believe it was episode 8.
Yeah, 8.
Oh man,
I know where I'm at.
In episode 8, we attempted to weld. And if you guys look around the garage, we have a few things plugged in.
Got some stuff.
Yeah, there's a little bit of electricity
maybe
going through the garage.
Maybe a lot.
So, before we even get to that point, I want to show you guys that we are we're on the up and up. We're making sure things are done correctly. So we got a new outlet. We got a new outlet installed. It's on its own breaker. So if everything works out like I hope it will, and we weld and it pops the breaker, all the lights will stay on.
That's good.
Hopefully. This is our fender that we have. And we got this mounting bracket, but we started playing around with it on the swing arm, and it would shoot it into this, right?
The battery box.
Oh, right. So we're gonna have the battery box here, and if you mount this, like, there's just no way that would work. So we got gas box. This thing is thick.
That's a pretty serious piece of steel.
Yeah.
So we did a slightly different mount. These guys did this without me, and good job, because this one is actually a lower profile.
I'm gonna take no credit for that. That was 100% Luke.
Okay.
I don't even want.
So pretty much how this thing works is we're going to change this angle so we can mount it onto the swing arm and then have this angle where we need it to meet the fender, where we want the fender to be finish mounted. And then we'll weld these little bungs onto the fender, and then we'll be able to mount the fender onto this mount, which is mounted to the swing arm. So the fender will move with the swing arm. We have all of the stuff to get the right side of the wheel spaced out properly.
So, okay.
Right, so we have the brake bracket, we have the new rotor spacer.
We do.
So the rotor will fit exactly where it needs to into the caliper on the caliper bracket. With that on, we should have the right spacer to fit this side as well. But what we don't have is the pulley.
Yeah, because we had to send the pulley back to get more.
It wasn't, they sent a pulley to us and it wasn't quite machined out the right size to fit over the hub of the wheels. So they needed to open up the inside diameter of the pulley to fit over the center piece of the hub.
But if we mount...
The issue with that is how far back the wheel comes.
Okay.
So without the pulley, we can't set the wheel's distance.
Okay.
So when we mount the fender on, we don't know how forward and backwards the bracket is going to go. Yeah, so we just need to get this on where it's centered on the swing arm.
Okay.
And then we'll be able to mess with where it goes forward to backwards after.
Yeah.
After we get the rest of the pulley parts and everything, so we could set the distance of the wheel.
Gotcha.
So right, it's lowered. It's the right height.
Yeah.
We have the right height for the front.
We do.
So we'll be able to set the fender in exactly where we know we want it to go looks-wise.
Yeah.
And then we'll be able to, I mean, we could literally just take this fender and we can do it like all the way down here. Down here, the angle in between the bung and the fender is not quite where we need it to be. It needs to be flush, flat up against the fender. So we obviously need to do a little bending on this bracket to make those sit like that.
So is the first thing the welding stuff, like you showing me how to weld, or is there stuff that we need to do before that?
Well, we don't have to weld right this very second.
Okay.
What we need to do is we need to make all this stuff bend to the point where it fits right.
I'm gonna
So if you want to start with that.
Let me guess. You're gonna need heat and a vise and a mallet.
Yes.
So Brian, we got options for hammers. We got...
The heaviest one you have is what we're looking for. So pretty much what we're looking to do is we're looking to heat this piece of metal to soften it up a little bit so we can open this angle up to give us the angle that we need.
So are we just gonna try to like open it up generally and then like put it on there, beat it some more, heat it some more, beat it?
We really don't have the right tools to measure the proper angle and then just do it once and open it up to the angle. So we're gonna have to kind of do it the caveman way and just heat it and beat it until it's where it needs to be.
Definitely not the first time, nor will it be the last.
So unfortunately, this is the only torch we have, so this is gonna take a really long time. Pretty close.
That's pretty damn close for like
for
you
eyeballing
just
it.
like eyeballing it and be like, yeah, let's heat it up and just like bend it and see what happens. You know what I'm saying?
Now, where do we want the fender to sit?
So this is the least it can be, basically. Like as far as wheel coverage.
What do you mean?
Like we can make it go this way more, but we have a limit.
Well, where's the bracket at? That's about as far back as we can go right there.
Okay, so as far as wheel coverage.
Yeah. Is that what you want to do? Cover as much wheel as you can?
I don't know. I think that's too much, honestly.
Too much fender?
Yeah.
So we can roll this in this way.
I kind of like that. Here, let me hold it. Let me let you look at it. You're more of a connoisseur of the Barber.
I actually think we need a little bit more fender.
You think we need
more
fender?
Just a little bit.
So like maybe to the edge of the red.
I'm trying to do this line so when you're riding down the road, if you hit a puddle, it's not just going to completely whip you up the back with water and mud and dirt.
So you're trying for a 90?
little bit more vertical, yeah. So right about there looks pretty good.
Do you want to tape right here so that we can...
I actually want to tape the fender to the wheel.
Oh, I see what you're talking about, because
Right
the rear
here.
wheel is going to rotate towards the
This
rider.
way. So, I mean, it's going to splash anyway, but if it was any shorter, it would really just go just right up your back.
Yeah,
You know, so at least this way, it's going to fling up over, but at least it's not going to hit you directly in the back. It's got a little bit of fender, too.
Yeah, okay.
I think I actually have to open the fender up a little bit more.
When you say open fender up, you mean that thing you did earlier where you were...
Yeah,
like
just
that?
kind of spread it a little bit just to get the right angle on here. Yeah, so we need to open this bracket up a little bit more. And then we may need to open up the fender a little bit more. Let's do one angle at a time. So we'll get the bracket to meet and then we'll work on the fender afterwards.
Gotcha. So, first, flame.
More flameage, correct, sir.
You know, Brian, it's funny you mention that. I've heard that the 2017 ZX10 is really bad about that.
I've heard the same thing. That was awesome.
Dude, there's a ghost of the ZX10. Did you just have an earthquake?
What is happening right now? Like, okay,
I don't even know whose car that is.
This is scary shit. What is happening? It's from their garage?
Yeah, it's in the garage. They just got murdered next door.
It's off now.
So,
Somebody just got body slammed into that wall.
at the exact same time that I talk shit about the Wreck Bike Rebuild Season 2 bike, the shit falls off the wall, a car alarm starts going off. Do you think it's the ghost that's in the door? The door that we don't speak of? I'm just saying. Shit got weird.
What's scared now?
I know. Is it bad that I was so invested in my story I got chill bumps? I convinced myself that
That should do it. We'll let that cool now. Is that an okay gap for you between the tire and the fender?
I mean,
Or is that too much?
with the fender being mounted to the swing arm, will we be able to adjust the distance of the wheel? Will that hinder that? You know what I'm talking about?
So we are, like I was saying before, we are not going to solid mount this forward backward until we get the wheel.
No, I'm talking like,
Right.
okay, so like
So-
2 years down the road, somebody has to put a new chain on.
Right, so we need to leave enough space here in the front so they can move the wheel forward and backwards enough to get the chain or the belt
Okay.
to go on. But we can very slightly change how close this is to the rear fender up here, as long as I have the distance back here. But we might actually have to leave just a little bit more space in the front.
Just for safety.
Yeah, but we won't know until, because I mean, when you adjust a belt on these things, they don't go very far.
I was going to ask that because I've never had a belt.
It's not like chains where, I mean, they give you all of this space in here to adjust the belt with, but that's for the original length. Once you put the thing on and it stretches and you have to adjust it and adjust it, I mean, you're really moving the rear axle backwards, such small increments. So we get a new belt, and you put a new belt on, it's as short as it's going to be, it's as short as it's ever going to be.
Okay.
So we'll put the new belt on, we'll set the rear wheel in, we'll set the belt slack, and then that's when we'll make our marks where that bracket is going to be welded to the swing arm.
Because that's
with
the
our gapping.
closest it'll ever be.
Yes.
That's perfect then, yeah.
Yes.
So we'll
So
go ahead
right
and
now
order
we're
the
just
belt
trying to get the angle of the mount and the curve of the fender
then. Tack
to
welded
match,
in town.
so we can tack on and weld on our bungs, our mounting bungs,
Right.
so it can be painted.
Yep.
And then after that, we'll be able to figure out where it's going to go left to right.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's it.
That worked?
Yep.
Nice. So the gap here is the bending of the fender then.
Maybe it needs just a hair more. And then the rest of it is the fender.
Yeah.
I know we didn't get it on film before when I had already started.
Yeah, you just...
But, you know, I'll show you guys right now how easy it is to bend this fender.
Don't worry, I wrote down the fender line on this piece of tape. Comment down below how excited you are for this build, and I'll pick one of you and I'll send you this piece of red tape. Or
you can send
Or that piece of red tape.
or this piece of red tape. And one of those Wreck Bike Rebuild decals. I'll have the team sign this piece of red tape. I'll send it to you.
So earlier today when we were here and I was kind of just standing around, we had the fender laying on the tire and it wasn't really the right shape. So I kind of just did one of those.
Kids, don't try this.
You could do this at home. Chase may not be able to do this at home, but
That's why I have professionals. I recommend hiring professionals.
let's put this back on again.
Let's get it right back on our fender line. You like that? You like my drawing? Now, Brian, keep up with that piece of tape. Somebody's getting that. It's our giveaway of the day. So that's close enough to put metal like welding in between there?
I think so.
Because obviously it's not going to be perfect, but because you said when you weld, metal comes out over a lightning bolt, right?
The metal is heated with a lightning bolt and it just melts.
Yeah, and the lightning bolt's like a river, like a stream of metal, right?
Not the lightning bolt, but the wire that comes out of it liquefies as it gets heated up by the electricity.
But I thought that you got it was a metal sheet and the wire is coming out, but it arcs over. It's like a waterfall, like a metal waterfall lightning bolt thing.
When that tip of the wire makes the contact between the metal, it completes the circuit because you've got the ground hooked on. So when it touches, that's when it completes the circuit, and then the electricity goes through the two.
Okay.
And the heat from the electricity melts the wire,
Yeah.
and the wire melts into the area here.
Got it.
Yes.
I was a micron off. I thought that like right before it touched, there was a...
Chase, can you reach in here and put your hand on the bracket? It's not hot anymore, and just hold it down to the swing arm hard.
Is it the type of thing that we could put like a rubber washer at the end of the little nub to like fill in gap?
What are you talking about?
Like-
Between the fender and the bung?
No,
Or
between the
bung
bung and the
the-
bracket.
We can, but then the fender will flop around. That's the one you wanted to give away, right?
Yep, we have to all sign it, and we're gonna give. Ooh, it got metal stuff off.
What are they commenting?
That's a good question, Brian. What should they comment down below?
What do you mean?
I don't know.
10 seconds.
For what?
Oh God, say something. They have to comment something in the comments. What? Say something. Something.
Comment if you think this is too hard for the normal person to accomplish.
Did it make the 10 seconds?
Yeah, that's
What kind of anticlimactic shit was
future
that?
Chase. We'll have to wait and see.
Or Future Chase will grab that footage. Haha! Look, you gotta sign it too.
So we actually need to do some practice welding now.
So that's where we are right now?
Yep.
Practice weld time?
Practice weld time. You ready?
Probably not.
Okay, so not ready, but you're gonna listen anyway.
Yeah. Oh God.
We're gonna start from this side and work your way outward.
Okay.
So when you're doing this, you wanna go a little bit and back, and a little bit further and back, and a little bit further and back. Now some people, that's called stitching. You just like
Okay.
bink, 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 you're kind of just working your way across. Some people like to do little circles.
Oh, like you're waxing a car.
Yes,
Nice.
but your circles are very small.
Yeah.
Now-
like you're waxing a Hot Wheels car.
You're gonna need to figure out how fast you need to make circles,
Based on how fast the
the wires coming out, and how hot the metal is getting. If your circles are too small, you'll burn a hole.
Okay.
If your circles are too big, you won't get good penetration. All right, so as this goes, little pieces of metal are gonna drop.
Okay.
You have gloves on, don't be afraid of it,
Got it.
okay? So just work yourself in there. Try and get about halfway through and then we'll see how it is.
Okay.
Okay, let me grab my helmet too.
I assume this trigger makes the wire come out.
It does.
Is that what? Okay.
You ready?
As I'll ever be.
Okay, let's give it a shot, see what happens.
I'm just gonna touch it just so I can like.
Do what you gotta do. You have to pull the trigger for the power to go. It's simultaneous. Now you wanna get that tip where the wire comes out close to the metal, but not real close.
I can't see shit.
Go ahead, try it again. Can you see it or not?
No, because it goes like sparks stops. Sparks
Let me see your
stops.
helmet real quick. Just trying to get you set up so you could actually mess with this thing and learn something. Okay, now you can play.
Okay.
Welding is one of those things where the more you do it, the better you get.
All right. Welder going on. Do I need to let it like spool up, or is
You're
it
good
like?
to go.
Okay. So I'm gonna try to do what, like a straight line, just like.
Just run a bead of weld all the way across the top.
Okay.
One side to the other.
Circular.
However,
motion thing?
if you want to try and go back and forth, if you want to try and do circles, pick one of those two and make one pass, and then make another pass using the other method.
Yeah.
See which one is more comfortable for you.
Gotcha.
What do you think?
I mean, I stayed on the line. I was going slow, like.
Good job, Chase.
Holy shit!
And then I want you to take this and I want you to grind your weld off.
With the little grinding.
Yep, so I think I have to put the grinder back on again. Yay! Okay.
What was?
There's probably just metal packed in between the threads. And it took a couple.
No, ladies and gents. The ghost of the ZX-10 is gone. Woohoo! Man, Brian, you causing a little bit of cold sweats with that whole front axle situation. My God.
Screwed right in, look at that.
Wait, now it just screwed
Yeah,
right in?
going right in.
What the hell?
Not that time. There's got to be metal in here. Can you hand me one of those rags, please? I'll leave it right there. It's in.
Yeah.
It went in smoothly.
Yeah.
We'll worry about anything else later when we have to worry about it. All right, so we did our welding class. Chase did pretty good with the welding. Now we need to try and see if we can't find some metal that's as thick as this.
Okay.
So we can practice to try and get the right temperature for the welder before we absolutely burn a hole in this thing.
So is this a tack weld, then weld it?
Yeah.
So how do you tack weld it and it stand there?
You hold it.
No.
Yeah, you put the clamp on here and you hold this on there and you go and then you let it go.
Dude, there's no way I'm doing that.
Why not?
Bro.
You're not welding, your fingers aren't gonna get welded to it.
Electricity and all that?
No.
Nope.
Nope.
All right. What? Whatever.
When you were
weld my-
welding before, were you leaning up against that piece of metal? Did you have your hand on the vise? Right? Right, so you're just gonna,
Just hold it and tack it.
so get it lined up and then give it a little, and then let it go. let it go. Okay, tack complete.
Okay, I was not electrocuted to be, just want to get that out there. All right, so I'm going to hold and just do tiny little circles.
And I'll twist it.
And you rotate. Whoa! Okay, that was hot.
Land on your foot or go in your shoe.
Dude, went in my shoe.
So tuck your pant leg over the tongue.
Whoa! Dude.
You didn't see that happening?
When I noticed it, I stopped.
Okay, so let's turn this down. I think you made a little bit of a hole in that.
What's that in there?
I got, see,
Now,
I told you guys.
We'll start again from back here. Now you're going to control, I'm not gonna turn it, you're gonna move.
Okay,
Because I can't see what you're doing, so.
noted.
Good, perfect.
Ready?
Yep. Perfect. Okay, that's it. Perfect, good penetration, no holes. So we're at like 3 3/4 on the wire feed.
Wait, let me use my ball point. Dude, that's solid. That ain't going nowhere.
It's on there. Now we have a fender to weld. Are you ready?
I don't know, dude. I'm a little worried, honestly. I'm a little scared to mess our shit up. If I mess this up, like that's our fender. Like we ain't got another one. Special guest is gonna be here next week. Can't do nothing.
Okay, that's the spot. You want me to do it?
Here's the thing. There's 2 of them. So you could do the first one, run into any problems we may have, and then I'll do the second one. Only because this is our only piece.
Okay.
And I
If
really,
that's the case, just to be safe, I'm gonna turn this down just a tiny bit more.
okay.
All right, it's on there. LJ's got a whole lot of body work to do.
So when he's doing that bodywork stuff, would he be able to smooth that out?
Yes.
Oh.
It'll take some time, but yeah, he'll be able to like put body filler in there and like kind of feather everything out so it's, okay, where's our bracket? Where's our bracket? So you see how high this is?
Yeah.
We could bend this bracket out to bring this down a little bit now. This is gonna have to be...
But we can do that, like that's post-welding.
That's
things
gonna be
we
like-
can do, right?
To give the wheel room for the adjuster. We might even have to go this far back.
I just don't want to like cause irreparable damage to our the job at hand. That's my only worry.
Dude, just weld positively.
I like it. Weld positively. Ready as I'm gonna be, Brian.
So you really want to get right where the bung and the fender come together.
Yeah.
Right in that little corner. So just tack it for now. We'll take the C-clamp off, and then we'll take the bracket off, and then you can get to the rest of it.
That didn't do anything. Whoa.
Go ahead. All right, that looks like it should hold it. I guess not.
So maybe stay on it a little longer next time to give it time to bead in.
Yes. Trying to get the booger of weld off of here. Warm. We definitely have to open this bracket up a little bit more to bring this down.
You mean like push it, like bend it more, like we were doing
Yeah, like we
earlier?
were doing it earlier. But the fender width looks good.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, attempt numero dos. Yeah, I think I was worried about making a hole in the fender, and I really didn't want to do that. So I was.
Get your test tack out of the way.
Yeah.
So, I actually left it with that little bit of an air gap in there. If you could see that.
Yeah.
Put the wire right in the hole.
All right. Put the wire in the hole.
Start like here,
Yeah.
and then get like a quarter of the way around.
Okay.
All right, they're both on there.
Alrighty.
Now we get to clean everything up. Like, do you want to go up like up here?
Yeah. Sorry, Brian.
That's all right. All right, the rest of it's going to be body work.
All right.
All right, so let's put the bracket onto this.
Okay. It's safe to say we're done welding now.
Yeah,
now.
I think we're done welding.
Okay. Mike's looking
You know you're good when you're done welding and you've cleaned up all your welds and the bolts thread right in with no problem.
I was gonna ask if we needed to like blow compressed air or something in the. All I know is there's not a hole in the fender. Mission accomplished.
Yeah, we definitely want to bring that. We want to bring that down, right? Bring it down to about there.
So that's just removing the fender off, heating it, and pulling it.
Open it
again.
back up again. Yep.
Okay.
We already know how to do that.
We do already know how to do that. Even I know how to do that.
How's that look?
That looks a lot better.
Does that look straight?
It's from right here. This isn't hot.
Sticks over more of the tire on one side than the other.
Yeah, so we need to shift the whole thing this way some. Yeah, that right there looks like it's it.
Okay, we have a fender mount.
So should we tack that on? No.
Don't even need to. We've done the part that was absolutely necessary. Until we get all of the stuff here to line up the rear wheel, the belt, and everything else, I think we should wait
Okay.
to welding that onto the swing arm until all that stuff is here. Because
Yeah.
then at this point right now, we can move this left and right until it fits exactly where we need it to.
Make all the little tiny adjustments.
Right.
Pretty stoked that we started today with just like this fender piece of metal and a piece of metal for a bracket, and then like
We've now made them come together as one unit.
yeah. And then when our special guest comes and does his whole thing, like it's gonna be a total transformation of like raw material to
Finished
like,
product.
Yeah, that's gonna be really neat. Out of curiosity, what you guys doing?
Trying to figure out some shit with the battery box.
Luke, how's it feel to be in front of the camera and not behind it? You're like this ghost that normally just holds the camera, but now you're in front of it.
That's true.
Okay.
Weird.
Battery box. Drop that thing in. See, here's the issue. We've lowered this thing really far, right?
Right?
So the swing arm rests underneath the battery box.
Yes.
If the suspension travels to a point where it's going to smash into the battery box,
That's a problem.
that's a problem. We are gonna have to put a really small battery in this thing and cut up this battery box like it's nobody's business.
How far will that shock compress?
Pretty far. It'll at least compress as far as that to hit the battery box. I mean, is there weight on the suspension right now? Look how close the bottom of the battery is to the fender mount.
Yeah, that's a half an inch.
Maybe a half an inch. It's a 1 inch drop, and we're at a 2 inch drop, and the other hole is stock height. So we might actually have to bring this thing up to a 1 inch drop from a 2 to get the clearance we need. Now the fuel tank, there's tons of room underneath the fuel tank, but
See this clearance right here?
Oh.
So that bit we just welded on is on the swing arm.
And then it's going to
swing arm's gonna move up and down.
If that takes a bump, it's only got a half an inch of clearance.
But wouldn't that be solved if we made a smaller battery box?
So if we're gonna do that, we're gonna need to take this and lay this out across the top, which we can do. You know, we'd have to kind of sink that in there like that, cut a little piece of this off and, you know, set that in right about there. And then we'd still have to shorten the battery box. So when we put the seat on, the seat's gonna sit pretty much flat. So it'll give us some space underneath the seat to get some of this stuff in here. But we're just trying to find,
I
think we might just mount this in here sideways like this,
the ECU.
the ECU, and then put a much shorter battery in here so we can cut the bottom of the battery box off and bring this up to about here. And then we'll be able to cut the bottom of the battery box off, like 1.5 inches of it off, and then make a new bottom for it. So that'll sit in here. Right, that's nice. You still have the veneer on that side? Yeah, so it'll mount here and there, and we can cut this section off, and then it'll give us all the room we need to mount the spring mounts for the seat. And then we still need to figure out some sort of cover for this.
Like, what kind of material does that cover need to be?
We can make it out of anything we want to make it out of, and we'll have to figure that out when the time comes.
Okay.
So I think if we pull 1.5 inches out of the battery box, we actually can do it this way and remeasure it. It's about 3/4. It'll give us about 2 inches of suspension travel.
It's going through the head of the mechanic.
Luke is trying to figure out the smallest battery he can find
That'll work for this bike?
that will power this machine. Because I don't think a YTX7 or a YT7 BBS, I think that is. I don't remember.
Oh, this came out of the Supermoto.
Yeah, YTZ7. I don't think that's going to have quite enough power to turn this thing over.
Yeah. I think we just call, like, everything seemed to be encompassed in today's episode. If we go on to do more things, I think it's going to set us down paths of a lot of work.
So I think after LJ comes and you guys film all of that, we're going to need to hammer down and get lots of shit done per video.
I'm going to be listening to some really good songs, and we'll just play the whole song and just...
It's gonna be jazz? It's not gonna work for me.
punch you in the face with a welding glove on. Smooth jazz is good to watch. Like, these guys can sit back and, like...
You're not listening to smooth jazz. We'll settle this like men.
Do it. No, continue. How are we going to settle it? How are we going to settle it?
Real man music. We're going to settle this like men. Over a coin toss.
Okay. You know what, Luke? I have the perfect coin for us to test this with. So, what kind of music do you want in our, not next episode, because that's LJ stuff, but the episode after that where we're going to just marathon, like, not a lot of talking. It's going to be the type of thing like, hey, we're about to do this, no words spoken, we do it. What kind of music you want?
Led Zeppelin.
I can't do Led Zeppelin. I can do, like, types of music.
Your head would explode.
Yeah. What types of music?
Led Zeppelin.
What's Led Zeppelin? Rock?
Classic rock.
Classic rock, okay.
Molly Crew.
Is that classic rock as well?
Head Nugent.
I don't know
Ozzy
what
Osbourne.
you're saying words and I don't understand. Like, I don't know how to find that stuff.
It's really easy. You put those names in and then find alternatives to them.
We're gonna use classic rock. Okay, so we have a Wreck Bike Rebuild seated up coin. If it lands on Wreck Bike Rebuild side, we get classic rock on the marathon videos.
Yes.
If it gets seated upside, we get smooth jazz. All right, Brian. Seated upside, smooth jazz during marathon videos.
Jazz flute.
Wreck Bike Rebuild side is classic rock. Nailed it. Wait, don't you have to grab it and like flip it over or something?
That works.
Ah,
Wreck Bike Rebuild.
freaking. Classic rock is going to be played during our marathon videos, which will be episode 12.
12,
Episode 12,
13,
gets
and
classic.
14.
Oh God.
Yeah.
That's about right.
You think it's 3 episodes of bust shit out? I'll give you episode 12, and that is it. Okay, guys, we're gonna call episode
10.
10 over. We got the Fender welding done. I now can kind of weld, and the gas tank is off. Are you just now recording?
Focus on.
Oh, okay, got you. I thought you hit record. I was like, oh shit. How do you think I did welding?
I mean, very good for your first time.
Wait, Demon. Heck yeah.
It doesn't work like that. Because you lost the excitement in your
Yeah,
voice. When
Off of it.
Yeah, I like taking the edge off. You know, the edge is sharp, and you don't want to get cut. Next episode, special guest coming. Your friend LJ. Your friend being Brian's friend, not your right. LJ is going to be painting our stuff, and you guys will meet him on the next episode. Until then, make sure to hit the like button on this video if you like Wreck Bike Rebuild. If you really like it, you should check out the playlist and see all the other episodes. If you think I am bad at working on a bike now, you should have seen the old me. It was really bad. Brian was embarrassed for me to come into the shop that first time. Weren't you, Brian?
Nah, I'm pretty hard to embarrass.
Fair enough. We'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more videos like this.
Dude, that's going to be so awesome. I'm so stoked over that.
I'm excited for that too. I'm excited that it's actually held on and not broke, because I thought I made a hole in it. Okay, outro. Ooh, outro crew. What are we doing?
So, outro crew, I know you just heard us talking about music for our marathon videos. But I guess what we all don't understand is how much little stuff really still needs to be done. It looks like we've got a lot of stuff done and a lot of, made some progress, some headway, but we haven't gotten into any of the fine detail work, which is going to take forever. So we're going to be locked down in this garage with lots of work to do for a couple of days for sure.
I'm excited for the marathon videos because I think at that point we just turn music on in here and like bust shit out.
I'm fine with that.
Because that way I'm not able to record. I mean, I'll record, but like it'll have to be B-roll. I won't be able to talk over it because you know that's my hard spot. I can't stop talking. Seems like ever. Okay, see you guys in the next one.